Yo, 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 what's up, all you burner stones and potheads? This is Weedman 420 with the Weedman 420 Chronicles. How are all you vipers doing out there? Mrs. Weedman.
Mr. Weedman.
How the hell are you?
Fantastic.
I love it. Hey, all you vipers out there in the world. How you're smoking some big fat doinks while you're listening to the show. Mrs. Weedman and I are about to get normal with an oldie but a goodie. Some green crack grown by our friend Big Earl. And Mrs. Weedman's going to light that up while I tell you a little bit about the strain. Green crack, a perennial favorite. Green crack is a sativa dominant hybrid that was bred by inbreeding skunk one. Green crack is usually sativa dominant, but there's also a less popular indica heavy version of the strain. Green crack got its name from Snoop Dogg, though. It's also known as green kush or simple kush among smokers who prefer not to reference cocaine. This highly addictive strain is massively potent with top THC levels reaching above 24%. Has a sativa indica ratio of 65 to 35. The high is decidedly cerebral with a big mood boost and a jolt of energy. Oh boy, I need that. The strain spurs creativity and helps patients get things done. It's most effective in treating anxiety and depression along with ADHD, PTSD, and migraines. Green crack has a sweet flavor with tropical and citrus notes. These buds are dense and tight. Dry mouth occurs frequently. With dry eyes, dizziness, paranoia happens less often. It's most common in the Pacific Northwest, California, Arizona, and Colorado, but it can be found almost anywhere else with relative ease. It's one of the most popular strains on the traditional market for this reason. The effects: creativity, focus, happy, relief symptoms of anxiety, bipolar disorder, chronic pain, depression, fatigue, loss of appetite, migraines, PTSD, and stress. The flavors are citrus, fruity, pine, and sweet, and then the aromas are citrus, earthy, mango, and sweet. And this is green crack given to us by Big Earl. Thanks, Big Earl, for throwing to the cause. Been wanting to have a caregiver, home grower, give me some green crack. I think did our friend Maddie G give us some green crack one time too?
I feel like we've had it before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's tasty.
It's been a while since I've had it.
Yeah.
Oh, that smells.
We're gonna
nice.
have cotton mouth.
Oh,
Get ready.
Don't worry, I'm good. I got plenty of water and plenty of
I'm ready.
my favorite hoppy refresher.
Me too. I don't have hoppy refresher.
No, you drink water.
You want more?
No, but you're going to tell us a little bit about 8 Decades.
8 Decades is our lifestyle brand, cannabis lifestyle brand. 8 decades of cannabis prohibition. We don't want there to be a 9th. So we developed a product line for cannabis consumers to focus on stomping the stigma. Don't stash your stuff, display it, put it out, use it, and high quality goods that are sustainable because you buy them once and you don't need to buy them again. So check us out at 8decades.com, EIGHT, decades.com, and you will also find links to the podcast there. You'll find a bio about us, and you'll also see swag for the Weedman 420 Chronicles podcast.
Yeah, 8decades.com. Everybody go check it out. And we have a new partner, too. We like to give a shout out to Galaxy Dispensary in Richton Park, Illinois. I'd like to thank Jared and the team there for taking care of 8 Decades and bringing us on board there. Their display of our stuff looks great. So if you're ever in Richton Park, Illinois, check out Galaxy Dispensary. They also have their own cannabis line, too, called Galaxy Labs, and grow some good weed. We smoked on the show. I think they sponsored our 420 episode by throwing us some flowers. So thank you, Jared and team at Galaxy Dispensary in Richmond Park. We appreciate the partnership.
Yes, we do.
Yep. I had a good weekend.
Yeah.
Why did I have a good weekend?
Because it was your birthday. Happy birthday, Mr. Weedman.
Yes, we had family over on Sunday. Mrs. Weedman and I went exploring on Saturday and had some fun. And then Friday, we made pizzas at home, our own pizzas. And we had a nice, relaxing weekend, as we call it, the Weedman Palooza. And it was 3 days of just family, love, food, lots of food. Mrs. Weedman made my favorite oatmeal dried blueberry cookies. Oh my God. How many did I eat? I probably ate like 25 cookies in like 3 days.
Yeah.
They're my favorite. You make a lot of good cookies. Your Italian rainbow cookie is my second favorite you make, but the oatmeal blueberry
They're really good.
Cookie is just
chewy oatmeal cookies.
And just phenomenal. And when I was just sitting there, I think I'd eat like 4 or 5 at a time. I couldn't stop eating them. And Mrs. Weedman was like, "It's your birthday. Just go ahead and eat them all. Eat the whole thing." So it was I'd like to thank the family for coming out, and all the folks out there that wished. Some people know it was my birthday, and I'd like to thank everybody out there that wished me a happy birthday. I appreciate y'all out there. Thank you so much. And 53 never looked so good.
That's right.
I still got a lot of energy for 53. I love it. Funny article.
Are you saying that about yourself?
Huh? What am I
That's
saying?
pretty.
What am I saying?
You said 53 never looked so good.
I gotta say I look good. If I don't, what am I gonna say? I look ugly? I don't look good?
Yeah, you look good.
Yeah, thanks. See? I look good.
But I should say 53 looks good.
On me.
Whatever, Mr. Weedman. Whatever.
I sent you an article. This was pretty funny. It's about chimpanzees. And They have a new trend.
Yeah, they do.
They have a very new trend. And I think I might start here. I might start this trend here. Why not?
Jeez.
I'm not saying walk around like have pants on, have it sticking out of your pants. Chimpanzees, though, have a new trend they're starting. It's actually this one tribe of chimpanzees that are now doing this all across their tribe. They are sticking grass in their butts and walking around flaunting it like it's something special. So in Zambia, a group of chimpanzees is getting attention for its bizarre, hilarious, and habit. They started decorating themselves with blades of grass. Not by weaving them into anything, just sticking them in their ears and sometimes in their butts. Researchers at the Chimfunchi Wildlife Orphanage has been watching this unfold for years. It started back in 2010 with a chip named Julie, who began sticking log blades of grass into her ears. And after her death in 2013, her son and a few others kept the trend going. The fashion statements seemed to mean nothing, functionally speaking, but it spread. Then came Juma in 2023. This male chimp took things to the next level by wedging grass into his bum and letting it dangle like a tail. Within a week, his entire tribe joined in. According to a new study published in July in the Journal of Behavior, it had nothing to do with hygiene or health. It's pure social signaling. So this new trend, this new fashion trend, is a blade of grass in the butt. I think it's a phenomenal trend.
It's pretty funny.
I think it's a phenomenal trend. In captivity, they have more free time than in the wild, said Edwin van Leeuwen, one of the researchers. They don't stay as alert or spend as much time searching for food, which means more time for apparently rear end accessorizing. I heard they're going to get bejeweled grass blades at the zoo, and then start putting bejewels in them, and they're going to make their own bejeweled grass blades to walk around looking shiny. The study suggests this kind of memory serves a more meaningful purpose. By copying someone else's behavior, you show that you notice and maybe even like that individual. The bejewel, I'm telling you, it's going to work. So it might help strengthen social bonds and create a sense of belonging within the group, just like it does humans. So humans are starting to I guess, going to start putting blades of grass and walking around town. Fashion
Nobody
statement.
would see them. They'd be stuck under their pants.
Big surprise for the first time you meet somebody. This isn't the first time chimps have been caught behaving in ways that feel eerily familiar. Earlier this year, a separate study documented wild chimps in Guinea-Bissau drinking fermented African breadfruit with about 0.61% alcohol content. The apes took turns sipping from the fruit, a possible sign of early bonding rituals centered around sharing food and maybe even a buzz. For humans, we know drinking alcohol leads to a release of dopamine and endorphins, says ecologist Anna Baud. Feeling of happiness and relaxation follow. The chimps may not have been tipsy, but they were certainly social. It's easy to forget how close we are to chimps. And so I have a feeling this trend might come over to the human side of things.
No, it's not. Why would humans put blades of grass in their butthole?
Something to do.
Did you see, though, that the chimps also eat like fermented fruit?
Yes.
And it's kind of boozy.
Yeah,
and,
that's what I was just talking about. Yeah,
like,
what was it?
So they say it's like social behaviors and mimicking.
The fermented African breadfruit.
Breadfruit.
It's 0.61%.
Did you say that already?
Yeah, I think I did. Baked?
I was in a zone.
Nice.
Yeah, I was just spacing out, staring at your shirt.
I like to thank Big Midwest Terps for the shirt. Thank you. I love when people give me T-shirts.
Mm-hmm. I never really looked at it. As long as I've looked at it just now.
It's a good shirt.
Got the little Navy Pier, Midway Airport.
Yeah, it's nice.
I think you got some Sears Tower going on there.
I do.
Yep.
Maybe
that's good.
This looks like the
John Hancock.
the Sears Tower, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Yeah. We still call it the Sears Tower.
Yeah, we do.
In Chicago,
I think most Chicagoans
even though it's called
do.
Willits Tower, we still hear
Not Willits.
What's it called?
Willis.
Oh, Willis.
Willits is bourbon.
Bourbon, JD Willett. But we call it still here in the Sears Tower. It'll always be the Sears Tower. So There could be arguments about that, I guess.
Yeah.
So, but I like to thank the chimpanzees for making me smile. I do love reading some fun articles before the show until we get why so serious. Miss Weedman,
Mr. Weedman,
anything else before we start the show?
I think we're ready to start the show.
All right, let's get the show rolling. How to tell if your weed is trash
Ooh.
by Green State. What's good, fam? We're dropping the lowdown on how to spot that trash weed you don't get left coughing and disappointed. First up, the scent game. I've always talked about this, haven't I, Mr. Weedman?
Mm-hmm.
Your nose knows.
Yep.
One of my favorite lines is the old commercial of Fruit Loops, Toucan Sam. What did he always say? Follow your nose, it always knows. I've preached this since I started the show and always said your nose can tell. Why? Because you breathe and you have your olfactory glands that where you taste through your nose. So when you smell flower, great flower, when I was grinding the green crack, you just smell that air, that just the fragrance of some limonene, some pinene, and you just like, whoa, and it lights you up. The smell of cannabis flower really can, just not even smoking it, just smelling the terpenes can give you different effects. And that's why I always say your nose knows what cannabis you would like or would like to try or smoke and what's good for your body. So when it comes to quality, the nose knows, says Cannabis Pro, Caleb Chen, a certified ganjier and a Buddhist critic. If your bag stinks like Yankee Candle, super perfumed, headache inducing, that's a red flag right there. Could be spray terp situation where artificial terpenes mask flavor, but pack more risk than a dusty brownie. And if it smells musty or like hay, mold or pure curing, get rid of it immediately. A weak scent doesn't kill you, but you probably won't get much of a lift either. Next, looking at the goods. Good buds flex vibrant greens or purples, but if you peep brownish hues, that's old or oxidized weed. Still smokable, but the potency is toast. Crack open the nug, seeds and stems galore. That's bottom shelf, fam. And if you see moldy fuzz in the middle, white, gray, or brown, or black dots that scream bugs, you're dicey without testing, especially in the black market. If you want to get micro, grab a jeweler's loop. Dense, glistening trichomes with clear heads. That's primo. Sparse or headless trichomes, budget grade at best. Or get a microscope like me and really dive into what your weed looks like. Give it the field test. Good weed bounces back. A little squish, a lot of resistance. I was going to say something, but just like when I give a little slap on the ass. Too wet, risky mold zone. Too dry, and it turns to dust. Oh my God. Let's say this, back in early med days here in Illinois, like let's say like 2016, 2017, maybe even 2018, you would grind weed up and it was like powder. Oh my gosh. You'd be like, what the hell is this? You know, that was just like dusty. So, and there's no smell of that and no flavor. So pro tip, stash in a cool, dark closet and put a Boveda pack in your jar, your 8 Decades jar to be exact. Check us out on 8decades.com to keep the vibe just right. Let's talk some risk. Smoking trash ain't just lame. It can ruin your vibe. Harsh smoke, gnarly flavor, bad burn, weak high, and worst case, moldy bud can hit your lungs, make you puke, or wreck your respiratory system, especially if your immune game is weak. Let's sum up the Chronicle style. You have quality check, good weed vibe, bad weed red flag. Smell on the quality check, natural terpene aroma, not too perfumey, right? The bad weed red flag, hay musty, overly fruity, spray terps, weak, no smell. Quality check, color and appearance, green purple, dense with trichomes, nice beautiful orange or red hairs. Lavished with beautiful trichomes, dense buds, just looking beautiful with those nice creamy trichomes. Some of them might have just a little amber in it if you get a jeweler's loop. The bad weed red flag, brownish, lots of stems and seeds, molds and pest. Quality check on the texture, springy bounce, balanced moisture. Bad weed red flag is dusty, dry, or soggy and wet. Quality check on the outcome, smooth burn, flavor potent. Bad weed red flag is harsh, bland, possibly dangerous. Quality check, remember, good weed ain't cheap, and cheap weed ain't good. But these are the legit markers separating dank from dud.
It's good to know.
It is good to know. I mean, because a lot of people don't know what to look for.
That's right.
Especially in states where it's not deli style, and a lot of states are starting to do away with deli style, and you're getting prepackaged weed that's been sitting in a vault. You don't know how long. You don't know.
You don't really even get to look at it before you buy it,
or you get it out to your car.
The package is usually colored.
Yes, and some of them have glass bottoms. I know some companies are doing some cool stuff that putting magnifying glasses in the bottom, and you can look at the weed and stuff like that. It's just it's a luck of the draw.
Right.
You know, they don't put the dates.
You don't get to smell it.
Right.
You can't see the bud up close to know if it's dense and
And dry bud. I mean, when you grab a dry bud and you put it in your hands, it just crumbles.
It can still be terpy. It can still be sticky, but it just crumbles.
Yes, and we like bud that's when you grind it, it bounces back
it's
fluffy.
Like a little springy, fluffy.
When you see bud like
it's
that.
It's almost like what's that sand? The sand, kinetic sand.
Oh yeah. It's kind of like
a
that.
crumb of that.
Yes,
yeah.
It's so nice. So hopefully that helps.
Mm-hmm.
So Mrs. Weedman, how alcohol and cannabis affect gut health?
Yes.
Tell us about it by the fresh toast.
Mm-hmm. Cannabis awareness has significantly increased in the last decade, becoming a popular. Bear with me, I'm really this is a noggin knocker.
It said it. Yeah, go straight to the head.
Yeah. Becoming a popular topic in both scientific research and public consciousness. While the concept of gut-brain axis and the importance of gut microbiome has been studied for decades, it is only recently that the general public has become more aware of the impact of gut health on overall well-being. So let's talk about how alcohol and cannabis affect gut health. More people are questioning how lifestyle choices, especially substance use, impact the digestive system. While alcohol and cannabis are commonly used for social and recreational purposes, they interact with the gut in strikingly different ways. Understanding these differences can help guide healthier decisions, particularly for those prioritizing wellness and long-term health. Alcohol consumption, particularly in excess, has been long associated with poor gut health. Alcohol can damage the lining of the gastrointestinal tract, increase intestinal permeability, and it is commonly known that permeability problem is commonly known as leaky gut. Yeah. And it can disturb the balance of the microbiome. And that is the trillions of bacteria that help regulate digestion, immune function, and even your mood. Heavy drinking promotes the overgrowth of harmful bacteria and reduces beneficial strains like lactobacillus and bifidobacterium.
Nice. You got you practiced that, didn't you?
This imbalance can trigger inflammation, digestive discomfort, and weaken the gut's natural defenses. Chronic alcohol use has also been linked to gastrointestinal diseases such as gastritis, ulcers, and inflammatory bowel disease, or IBD. Cannabis interacts with the gut, though, and it gets there through your endocannabinoid system, which is a network of receptors that help regulate your digestion, appetite, and immune response. Unlike alcohol, cannabis does not damage the gut lining or directly alter gut permeability in most users. In fact, some studies suggest cannabinoids like CBD and THC may have anti-inflammatory effects, which could benefit conditions such as Crohn's disease or irritable bowel syndrome, IBS. Cannabis may also indirectly support gut health by reducing stress and anxiety, two factors known to worsen digestive symptoms. However, research, Mr. Weedman, is still needed.
Still needed.
Both alcohol and cannabis can have different effects depending on dose, frequency, and form of consumption. Occasional moderate drinking may have limited gut impact for some individuals, while heavy daily use is clearly harmful. Similarly, cannabis edibles may influence digestion differently than smoking or vaping, and high THC products can have stronger psychoactive effects. When it comes to gut health, alcohol tends to be a clear disruptor, while cannabis presents a more nuanced profile. While early research shows potential benefits of cannabinoids for gut inflammation and stress-related digestive issues, more clinical studies are needed. For individuals concerned with maintaining a healthy microbiome and digestive system, moderation and informed choices remain key.
There we go.
Yep.
Lay off the booze and go to the green.
Yeah.
Your gut will like
it's
you.
happening.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's happening.
Oh, yeah. There's been a bunch of stuff talked about cannabis versus alcohol, and what's the difference between the two. It's crazy what they're talking about. We've known this for alcohol, about alcohol fear. I like beer. I do.
Yeah, yeah.
But moderation is
But I think
key.
that people are realizing they can go out and have a cocktail and then have a mocktail that it has some CBD in it or
Right.
THC.
Right.
And they can have just as fun of a time.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
they don't feel groggy and
Right.
run down the next day and they're
Yeah.
still enjoying themselves.
Hangovers are the fucking worst.
Yeah.
We talk about this all the time. Hangovers are the worst, especially as you get older. And it all has to do with hydration.
Yep.
I've said this to our kids for years. I'm like, for every 2 drinks, drink a glass of water. You'll thank me in the morning. Hydration is clutch when you drink. It's just like, I was in the bar industry for a very long time. Did a lot of shots, would guest after work here and there. Thinking about how many of those shots I've done and just destroyed my gut when you're drinking a shot of tequila, oh my God. And then drinking. I used to do a shot called the Dark Side. It was a shot of tequila with a Red Bull back because I could not stand the taste of tequila, but I would just do it because that's what everybody always asked for. And it was called the Dark Side, so I would do a Red Bull back and it would just take the taste away. But just now think about it. I'm drinking a shot of tequila, which is bad for your gut,
God.
and I'm putting it
And
energy
follow
drink
it with just total
that
garbage.
just gives you gut rot too.
Yeah.
So leaky gut also. So you're just destroying your innards and your bacteria.
It's just a can of
and the
chemicals.
oh God, just to think about that, it just makes me gross.
So gross.
So I don't drink much heavy liquor anymore. Very rare. I still like a beer or two here and there. I just love a good beer, a good Pilsner, crisp, clean, light, refreshing with a good cannabis. Beautiful. On a Saturday night with Mrs Weedman.
Perfect.
out in the yard. Nothing better. So I am not an expert on growing. Okay. So I'm just going to let all you growers out there listen to our show. I'm not an expert. I do home grow. I love it. I've learned from a lot of really good growers. We do the grow hour. I'm a newbie grower. I have Big Earl, who is really good at growing. He's a phenomenal grower. He's one of my faves, and he's taught me a lot about growing, especially on the grow hour. But I do also like to talk about stuff I've learned by reading some stuff, and this is called How Light and Hormones Shape Cannabis Flowers. And this was written by the Nanjing Agricultural University, the Academy of Science. So, all right. So now we know how to spot bunk weed. Let's talk about what the pros are figuring out about how to actually grow the primo flower. Scientists have been studying how light cycles and plant hormones work together to shape those dense cannabinoid pack clusters we all love. Here's the wild part. Your cannabis plants. They'll grow out their first flowers no matter what lighting you give them. But when they're fully mature, that's when short day lighting, 12 hours light, 12 hours dark, becomes the magic key. Keep the short day cycle going, and you get tight, chunky inflorescences with more of the good stuff. Mess with the light schedule, and the plant starts spacing those flowers out, stretching stems and losing potency. And the puppet master in this all, a plant hormone called gibberellin. Low gibberellin levels mean your buds, say that 3 times really fast, levels mean your buds stay dense. High gibberellin, whether from longer daylight or by spraying it on, makes your plants stretch out and loosens those flower clusters. Even crazier, more gibberellin under short days can actually drop THC and CBD levels, probably by messing with trichome development or throwing cannabinoid production off track. They found it's basically a 2-phase light reaction. At first, short days make stems grow fast, But by day 10, that slows down and buds start stacking tight. It's tied to a lower gibberellin, GA4, and auxin levels at the shoot tip. And auxin barely does anything here. It's really gibberellin running the show. For growers, this is like unlocking a cheat code. Keep short days rolling equals dense buds, high potency. Mess with the light or jack up the gibberellin. Airy flowers, weak cannabinoids. And for medical or high-end flower production, keep everything tight and consistent is gold. Bottom line, your plant is listening to both light rhythm and hormone balance. Get the harmony right, and you're smoking the kind of flower that gets remembered. Like I said, I am not an expert grower, but I do like reading about growing, and I try to learn as much as I possibly can. I thought this was pretty interesting.
It is.
For all you home growers out there and caregiver growers out there. Send me a note whether this is true or not. So, but this
and even if you don't grow, I think
learning how
it's
bud is
grown,
of
that helps
course.
you appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate it more because it's a wonderful plant.
That's right.
This surprising study shows eating disorder patients prefer cannabis and psychedelics.
Yes.
Good article.
Millions of people suffer from eating disorders, but a new report indicates that the most effective treatment may not be what is the most commonly prescribed. According to a survey published in JAMA Network, cannabis and psychedelics were rated the highest for improving eating disorder symptoms. The study was funded by the Lambert Initiative for Cannabinoid Therapeutics, which is a philanthropically funded research program at the University of Sydney. The survey assessed responses from 7,648 participants from 83 different countries, representing all major eating disorders such as anorexia nervosa, bulimia nervosa, and avoidant restrictive food intake disorder. Eligibility to be a participant included either being clinically diagnosed with an eating disorder or reporting disorder eating that causes distress. Overall, the best-rated drug for eating disorder symptoms was cannabis. Yay! With 56.1% of respondents rating it the highest. Along with cannabis, the survey results also indicated that psychedelics, specifically psilocybin and LSD, were also rated highly for alleviating eating disorder symptoms. Ratings for cannabis and psychedelics were much higher than psychotropics, which are commonly prescribed for eating disorders. Cannabis was rated much higher by those with restrictive eating disorders, like anorexia, in comparison to its rating by those with non-restrictive eating disorders like bulimia or binge eating. The authors hypothesized that cannabis may benefit those with restrictive eating disorders by increasing the hedonic value of food, according to the report. In contrast, it may be lower rated by those with bulimia or binge eating, as the appetite-enhancing effects of cannabis may increase binge and purge episodes. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Exacerbating the disorder. For bulimia and binge eating, the highest-rated medications were fluoxetine and lisdexamfetamine, something like that, both of which are U.S. Food and Drug Administration approved and
sounds lovely, those words.
Yeah, and are specifically indicated for those disorders. The report also found that 49.3% of respondents believed that they had a problem with using at least one substance. And despite the high ratings for cannabis, many daily cannabis users reported problematic use. In contrast to cannabis and psychedelics, the survey found that alcohol, nicotine, and tobacco were rated as the most harmful drugs. One of the major limitations of this survey was that it relied primarily on self-diagnosis, indicating that the results may be affected by recall bias. As such, our results should be interpreted as exploratory rather than definitive, the study authors wrote. However, the findings do suggest that future clinical research should be conducted to confirm which avenue is most effective in treating eating disorders. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I have an uncle down in Florida. We'll call him Uncle Lewis.
We'll call him that.
We'll call him that. That's his name.
That's his
And
name.
he's amazing. He makes me laugh. Oh, I mean, he's just a straight up Italian guy that's been a truck driver for 40 years, retired. Now he drives a bus with kids.
Yep.
He's amazing. Doesn't use cannabis at all. But it was kind of funny. He texted me a while back ago, and he sent me a picture of these CBD gummies for help down below. For the old brajol is what I texted. I'm like, what are you trying to do? Help the old brajol out? And he was dying. And it was very funny. And I said, do they work? He goes, I don't know. Well, I looked up some research and I just found something about gummies for ED, erectile dysfunction, and do they work?
Okay. Tell me, Mr. Weedman.
So it was funny. So, but I gotta go back to my uncle.
Uncle
He's
Louis.
just, yeah, it's just really funny because we were just going back and forth on this, and I'm like, well, why do you use it? Do you have ED and do you have problems? He's like, well, I'm getting a little older now. I think he's like in his 70s. Like, I'm getting a little older now, and I just want to keep up. So I was laughing. So I don't even know if they work though yet. I never asked him since that conversation. So oh shit.
He will not use cannabis, but he will use CBD for the old
brajol.
That's funny.
Oh shit. So now listen up, you stoners. After breaking down the light of hormone-shaped primo flower, we're shifting gears here. Believe it or not, gummies are stepping out of the candy aisle and into, yeah, you heard it, the bedroom game. That's right. We're talking ED gummies, from CBD to prescription grade and everything in between. So what's the truth behind these bite-sized boosters? CBD gummies. Chill vibes, shaky science. First up, CBD gummies. They are the most popular because, well, they're easy to grab and promise that mellow anxiety vibe. Some say they help ease performance jitters by calming that. Oh, there's that word again. The Abdullah obligata. We had a listener make fun of me on that. He goes, "You had me dying because you couldn't pronounce that word." So if you're listening again, I fucked it up again just for you in your brain. But real talk. That there's zero solid proof they improve blood flow downstairs. Anxiety relief? Question. Maybe. Erection improvement? Slim chance. In fact, chronic cannabis users might be 4 times more likely to struggle with ED, according to some studies. CBD gummies might chill you out, but don't bank on them to get you up to do the job. There's some old school hustling out there, though, that people, there's been the old snake oil salesman for a very long time. So next we got some herbal players. Maca root, horny goat weed, ginseng, L-arginine, Tangata, Ali. You know the drill. These are sold as enhancers of libido and stamina. But medical pros are skeptical. Most lack solid evidence and aren't FDA approved. So they're basically fruit-flavored folklore. Now there's prescription erectile dysfunction, junction gummies. The real deal. Now here's where things get a little interesting. The Daily Rise gummies from Roe, we're talking a 7 milligram of Tadalafil, the same active beauty in Cialis, wrapped up into a fruit chew. Why is this a game changer? Take one daily and bam! The medicine builds up in your system. You're ready for action 24/7. No timing, no stress, just vibe ready. Studies say effects start within 2 to 5 days, and it lasts long. Side effects, yeah, there are some. Funny. You like that? I even stretched my arm out too for the visual effect.
I saw it come out the other side of your computer.
Side effects, yeah, there are some. Stuffy nose, headache, flushing, dizziness, muscle aches. Nothing lethal, but noteworthy. One user even shared waking up with the epic morning wood and feeling like he was 16 again. Spontaneous sparks, short of refractory periods, all with negligible planning.
But wait, that was from some vitamin?
No, this is from a prescription.
Oh.
Yes, it's a prescription.
But it's not cannabis.
No. No, they're saying that CBD doesn't work.
It just doesn't do it.
The herbal stuff is kind of snake oil salesman.
Yeah.
But I've heard different from people. You know, just I think it all depends on the body. Same thing with CBD. I'm a believer
placebo? Could you get placebo?
I'm sure.
A placebo boner.
But I before I go into like the differences here, like just a little summary. I am a true believer that THC works for ED. I don't have erectile dysfunction junction, but I'm just saying I know it works. I do.
Well, yeah.
So I know it helps. Not just to relax the body, it works. Just letting you all know. I don't know what strains I've taken to do it, but it does work. I have to make sure, maybe take a note so I can mention, this strain helped
is
out.
a definite helper.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definite upper. So
this one is the one.
This is the one. So the gummy type CBD gummies, what do they do? Ease anxiety, not proven for blood flow. The real talk though, chill vibe only, may not help ED. More studies need to be done. The herbal gummies, they do libido boosting claims, but there's not a lot of evidence. And then the real talk is mostly anecdotal, non-FDA. Buyers, you got to try it, see if it works for you. If it doesn't, you got snake oiled, So, and then there's the prescription gummies, the real tadalafil, daily use, spontaneous ED. They're potent, effective with some side effects. So here's my final spark. In this gummy jungle, and it is a gummy jungle, there is a lot of gummies out there in the world that are infused. There's also a lot of good candy gummies out there that we like to eat. So, but don't get lost in the hype. CBD and herbals, cool for vibes, but sketchy for results. Prescription gummies like Daily Rise, that's they're saying is it works. Clinical, consistent, and sexy and ready. Just remember, side effects and doctors' talk are part of the package. There is the hard facts, everybody. This is the hard facts. That was dedicated to my Uncle Lewis, by the way. Thanks for letting me share the story. You like being happy?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say.
You like being happy most of the time?
Yeah.
Would you rather be happy or sad?
Oh, come on, really?
There's a science, though, behind cannabis and happiness.
Yes.
Tell us about it, Ms. Weedman.
According to the 2024 World Happiness Report, about 42% of adults globally describe themselves as very happy. I'm surprised at that. I mean, I guess in the big picture, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of a lot. At first, I thought that's kind of low. You would hope that more people are happy, but this is very happy.
Very happy. 42%.
I don't personally know anybody that walks around like the most happy person in the world, right? So 42% is pretty good.
I think so. Good.
I think it could be better. I'd love to walk around saying I'm very happy.
Yeah. You're a happy
I'm
person.
Happy.
You're happy.
Yeah.
You're a happy person.
Thanks.
I mean, we all get sad now and then. We all maybe get a little here and there of depression. Some people might get down on their luck but whatever. But if you try to live a happy life, good things will follow.
That's right. Okay, so let's get back to this. According to the 2024 World Happiness Report, about 42% of adults globally describe themselves as very happy, a number which dips even lower among younger generations facing rising stress, financial uncertainty, and burnout. With happiness becoming an active pursuit rather than a passive state, cannabis is gaining attention as a potential tool to help bridge the emotional gap. But what is the science behind cannabis and happiness? Marijuana has gained popularity not just for its recreational use, but for its potential benefits on mental well-being. As more millennials explore holistic approaches to happiness and stress relief, science is beginning to shed light on how cannabis interacts with the brain to promote positive feelings. Marijuana primarily works through the endocannabinoid system, or the ECS, and it is a complex cell signaling network regulating mood, appetite, sleep, and stress. The ECS includes cannabinoid receptors, particularly CB1 receptors in the brain, which are activated by THC, the psychoactive compound in marijuana. Let me repeat that in case you didn't hear that. Everybody, not just people who use cannabis.
You in the back also.
Yeah, everybody has an endocannabinoid system. And what does that endocannabinoid system do? It receives CB1 receptors. And what are those CB1 receptors activated by? THC.
Mm-hmm.
That means our body has a system to receive the plant and the benefits of it. It's pretty fantastic.
Yeah. Great.
So when THC binds to these receptors, it boosts dopamine. And I can tell you, 100% does. 100%. And instantly, you have a feel-good feeling. And because of this dopamine neurotransmitter boost. And this can lead to enhanced mood and feelings of pleasure. According to a 2022 report by the National Institute on Drug Abuse, moderate use of marijuana may produce short-term euphoria, increased sociability, and a sense of relaxation. These effects can mimic the kind of mood elevation people associate with happiness. Mental health is a growing concern among millennials, with nearly 60% reporting feelings of stress or anxiety, according to the Mental Health America. And studies suggest marijuana may help ease symptoms of anxiety and depression when used responsibly. A study published by the Journal of Affective Disorders found cannabis use was associated with a significant reduction in self-reported levels of depression, anxiety, and stress in real time, particularly among individuals who use strains high in CBD and low in THC. Another report from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration noted that while marijuana is not a cure for mental illness, certain components, like CBD, show promise in supporting emotional balance without the psychoactive high. It's important to note marijuana isn't a magical solution. The key is moderation and mindful use. A 2023 meta-analysis highlighted that while occasional use may enhance short-term mood, chronic or heavy use could blunt the brain's natural dopamine production over time, potentially impacting long-term happiness. When used as part of a balanced wellness routine, including exercise, sleep, mindfulness, and social connection, cannabis can complement efforts to boost emotional well-being. For those navigating fast-paced, digitally saturated lives, marijuana may offer a scientifically backed way to slow down and reset if used intentionally. While more long-term studies are needed, early research shows cannabis can be a valuable tool in the mental wellness toolkit.
Oh, yeah.
Happiness isn't a one-size-fits-all, but for some, cannabis could be part of that equation.
There we go.
It is for me.
It is for me. Want to light that joint up before we go
I do.
into political state
Funny
and
you
business
say
news?
that.
Because this debacle I'm going to talk about here while we're smoking this joint is absolutely just a bunch of nonsense. So I was down in the basement Monday. It is Tuesday now, August 12th, 2025 at 9:51 p.m. I was in the basement working, and next thing I hear President Trump's voice on the TV talking about what, Mrs. Weedman?
Marijuana.
Marijuana on one, marijuana on two. And all of a sudden, I run upstairs, and I'm like, is he going to talk about rescheduling? Is he talking about this? What is he going to talk about? Well, he talked about it being good for medical and bad for kids.
No, I hear some really good things from the medical people that it's good. It's good. It's good medicine. But, as far as the other stuff goes, I hear bad things.
I'm so glad you took that over.
Like, what the fuck? Who told you the bad things?
And I'm shaking my head going, you got
Where are you seeing the bad things? Show me all the crime that's happening in the states where we have billions of dollars of tax revenue from cannabis, which means billions of dollars of weed are in people's bodies all over these states where it's legal. And tell me the upheaval that's happening, and tell me about the psychosis that's happening, and tell me about what else could it be? They've all gone mad, and there's orgies, and there's craziness. Oh, and they're gonna try to intravenously shoot it up. What else could they claim that they were gonna do with weed? just get stupid.
Yeah, we all get lazy.
You're all
dumb
going to get
stoners
lazy and stupid. Everyone's just sitting around now.
in their basements playing video games and just smoking more weed.
Come on.
I do that,
Come
though,
on.
by the way. But I'm not we already know we're not lazy stoners. There's no such thing. We've talked about this before.
They're just lazy people.
Just lazy people. So I'm getting right this minute. So while we were listening, he said that in like 2 weeks he was going to make a decision on what they were going to do to move forward, rescheduling it to Schedule 3, and then the banking reform and whatever, all that other stuff. So we got about 2 more weeks. Everything's
see.
2 weeks.
We'll see.
Everything's 2 weeks. 2
He
weeks.
heard
2 weeks,
bad
2 weeks.
things.
Yeah, bad things.
All the other stuff, bad things.
But so what I did was there was so much stuff that came out though between last week going into yesterday with the talks on the TV set. So I took a bunch of articles that I read and I kind of like combined them into like sort of short and sweet of some of the things that were talked about from last week's episode all the way to yesterday to we're recording now today. So fam, here we go. We're keeping the vibe rolling. We're diving into some political soil where cannabis reform is stirring under the Trump era. Let's spark it up and ride through the latest. So Trump is in the spotlight again, this time telling donors he's going to look at marijuana, specifically rescheduling it under federal law. His chief of staff has collected agency reports that now sit on her desk, ready for review. It's like a slow inhale before a big exhale. Sources say Trump's weighing a Schedule 1 to Schedule 3 shift, a move that would cut down penalties and juice the industry with tax perks and interstate trade chances. Stocks went through the fucking roof on Monday. As soon as he mentioned rescheduling it in 2 weeks, I watched stocks jump up from like 20% to 40% in a matter of like 2 hours. It was insane. And all the way, and today too. Stocks are just going right back up where they were. They're not at COVID levels at all, cannabis stocks. I mean, but they've gone up. It was like, holy shit. So behind closed doors, though, insiders like the CEO of Scott's Miracle Grow says Trump has privately committed multiple times to rescheduling. That's real, but publicly, not so much. And to keep us all guessing, his ex-press secretary, Sean Spicer, on his first term, swears legalization isn't happening under the president. Classic smoke and mirrors. Meanwhile, powerful players are throwing in the chips. Lots of money's been thrown out there. A political committee tied to Trump's super PAC just pushed a hard-hitting ad, reschedule cannabis and stack another win, Mr. President. Even the treasurer handles both accounts. Say what? That's influence with intent. Let's connect some dots, though. Back in the first term, Trump's administration rolled back the Cole memo and expanded federal reach. But he also signed the hemp legalization into law under the 2018 Farm Bill. So there's some mixed signals there for sure. Observers are even whispering about a secret anti-cannabis agency inside the Trump White House during round one, a so-called marijuana policy coordination committee tasked with keeping cannabis in check across agencies. Throw in an opinion piece urging federal reform, pointing at the growing public support, and push to expand medical access and snip absurd penalties. It all rounds out to a vibe that says something's changing, but I put maybe. Right? So there's a move and play, and what this means. Talking rescheduling, Schedule 1, Schedule 3, fewer penalties, tax perks. Private commitments behind the scenes nod from Trump to reform. Public pushback, legalization not today or maybe ever. PAC ads plus money. Industry is turning up the heat. Past record, mixed bag. Hemp, yes. Cannabis, maybe. Enforcement depends on mood. Secret committees. Adamant still battling internal reform versus crackdown. Public support or op pressure. The air is getting heavier. I can feel it calling in the air tonight. Oh, Lord. Could burst open soon, though. So here we are. Trump's dancing around pot like it's the last hit at a party. He's playing the silent sax at a jazz gig, letting the cues build. The momentum. Rescheduling? That's the tune he's testing or teasing. But full-blown legalization? Maybe. Not today. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe in 2 weeks. Maybe in 90 days. I don't know. But all fun aside, making fun of this, in some ways, it's not funny. We've had many presidents that could have done a lot of different things. For what, 44? 43 and 44 Obama? He had many chances to do it, right? Trump 2016, right? Biden, this close, and decided to walk off stage or get the hook, one or the other, however you want to call it, and left it to HHS to do nothing. So, is this just another president that's just going to give you the little carrot? Come get it. I got you. And then all of a sudden, wait another 2 more weeks, another 2 more weeks, another 2 more weeks, and then he's gone. And then whoever's next, who knows?
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully he changes it.
We'll see. Just get it. Just listen. I don't know who's filling your ear with all the
Hopefully
bad
they
stuff.
just
But Trump,
legalize
you
it.
like to read and you like to do research and you like to talk to people. Talk to the researchers. Talk to the people that use cannabis. Find out how long it's really been scrutinized and stigmatized, and how many people, 30 million people, have gone to jail in this country for just garbage, and there's still 40,000 nonviolent cannabis prisoners. Talk to the Last Prisoner Project. Talk to some of the G's and the ocean-grown folks that have been doing this for 20, 30, 40 years that are still around. Go visit farms and talk to how much this produces jobs. You're a job guy. All you care about is the money that the country's bringing in. Talk to the people that own the companies, which I know you have, because I know people have sat and paid millions of dollars to sit with you at your events. Some of these cannabis companies have donated. Start visiting the bud tenders. Start visiting these dispensaries and find out how well they need these jobs.
Well, and he's a businessman.
Right.
Look at the business.
Look
at the employment
almost 500,000
that
people
this
are
business. And if regulation loosened up and legalities became positive for the consumer, imagine how many more jobs and how much more cannabis would be sold if taxes weren't insane, if you could just walk into a store like you walk into a liquor store, or anywhere where you have to buy something that you have to show an ID. Like, why can't it just be that simple?
And here's the thing. He doesn't drink or do drugs. He doesn't drink or do drugs.
That's fine.
What I'm getting at here is alcohol is one of the biggest killers in this country and in the world today.
And it's completely legal.
We just talked about how it kills your gut.
The only
we talk about
restriction
people
is
falling
age.
apart. It falls families apart. It kills people. It does DUIs. It does so much, and still it's legalized, and still you let it go.
Proof after proof
Tobacco,
about how
same
terrible
thing.
it is. Yep.
Same thing. Kills people.
Yep. It's addictive.
More people than weed.
Yep. Addictive.
Right.
Weed's not addictive.
Right. Put it into the Alcohol, Tobacco Commission, Alcohol, Tobacco, Marijuana Commission. Put it into that. Let them govern it. Deschedule it. Do it right. Stop listening to the people filling your ear with negative stuff, because their ears were negative from people telling them it was negative their whole life, and not looking out to us, the real G's, the real people that are out there fighting for legalization, going and being in the traditional market forever, getting thrown in jail, watching families be destroyed because now that person's got a felony and they can't get a job over a plant. Do the right thing. Do the right thing in the government. Do something good for this country. Take it off the schedule. Decriminalize it. Even if you just legalize it medically throughout the country, that's a start. Federally legalize it medically first. Let's see how it does. Let the states recreationally make it rec if they want to. Don't let the federal government get involved in the states. You already said that about education. Let the states handle their education. Let the states handle it. Right. So it shouldn't even be on the schedule at all.
Right.
Sheesh. Michigan's weed game is on fire, folks. The Great Lakes state is set to overtake California in cannabis sales. Maybe. Depends. We'll see. Thanks to low prices, tons of dispensaries, and Midwest demand. While California's downsizing and raised their taxes, Michigan's booming. Booming. July was a bit of a drag for cannabis sales. They crept up just 0.5%, but day sales dipped 2.7%. Western states like Arizona, California, and Oregon saw flat or negative growth. On the flip side, New York's adult use market sparked a massive 857% year-over-year jump. Yes, more dispensaries. They're going to be doing over close to $2 billion this year. It's a big jump. Ohio's doing really well. Michigan, we just talked about. They're down a little bit because lower prices down, but they're still going to be a fucking almost $4 billion state, you know. So you have some really good positive stuff. You have some bad news with some states. It is how it's looking right now. So stay tight, okay, and stay tuned to like, man, be patient. Things are gonna get better. All the dispensaries that have been opened up across this country over the last 20 years, you're gonna have your herbs and flow until we get this figured out in the government level. So just keep your pants on. You'll be all right. The DA's slow-walking cannabis reform is fueling black market growth. States legalizing weed are seeing underground sales thrive because federal action stuck in neutral. The longer the feds drag their feet, the more the underground scene thrives. Time to stop stonewalling and let the legal market breathe. Here in Illinois, the Waukegan City Council in Illinois just approved a $1.5 million community development block grant for cannabis-related projects. This move aims to boost local business and support equity initiatives. It's a win for the community and the industry. Texas voters say loud and clear 80% want hemp regulated, not banned, but the THC ban bill is stuck in slow motion, while another GOP bill wants age limits instead. Politics or progress, either way, Texas is keeping us guessing. Y'all ready for the Lone Star shakeup? Y'all. California is on a roll. Since January, they seized nearly $480 million in illicit cannabis across 111 operations. That's over 270,000 pounds of unlicensed product and 260,000 plants eradicated. Plus, they've arrested 112 people, confiscated 52 firearms, and seized over $230,000 in cash. Looks like the Golden State's got a green thumb for enforcement. Metric and BioTrack. Those are systems implemented in each state. They're seed to sale tracking. So Metric and BioTrack just teamed up to streamline cannabis compliance. They've launched BT Government, an independent entity led by Mo Afshinasi, to handle state contracts. Metric says focus on regulatory tech, while BioTrack shift gears to enhance commercial offerings like ERP and POS systems. No disruptions for existing users, just smoother operations ahead. Looks like the green tech game just leveled up. Connecticut's cannabis prices are soaring. In June 2025, the average price per gram was $9.46, nearly 3 times higher than Massachusetts' $3.31. The price gap is attributed to Connecticut's new market, which has less competition and supply. Massachusetts, having legalized recreational cannabis in 2016, benefits from a more mature and competitive market, leading to lower prices for consumers. New Mexico's cannabis scene is experiencing a shakeout. Since adult use cannabis sales began in April 2022, about 1/3 of licensed weed companies have stopped reporting sales. While the state's overall cannabis revenue continues to grow, the market saturation has led to increased competition and challenges for smaller operators. Looks like the only strongest are thriving in the land of enchantment. Nebraska's Medical Cannabis Commission is feeling the heat. Frustrations are boiling over as they seek creative solutions due to lack of state funding. With no authority to set or collect fees and no funding to hire staff or inspectors, crafting formal rules and regulations have been difficult. They're working hard to build new industry reform from the ground up. Of course, Nebraska, your governor and your lieutenant governor does not want this happening. They are not going to hire people. They're not going to give you budgets. This is going to be stalemated until the people rise up. Nebraskans, rise up for your cannabis use. Rise up because your votes matter. And your fucking governor and your lieutenant governor and some of those, whoever else is in office, do not want it. So they are doing whatever they can to slow this down. You might be 2-3 years in, just like Alabama. Roll Tide. Ohio's cannabis market is celebrating its first anniversary with over $702 million in sales, but the journey hasn't been without bumps. Local bans and regulatory hurdles have slowed progress. Despite these challenges, Ohio model shows promise for national adoption. With continued adjustments, it should set the standard for other states. Looks like the Buckeye State's green rush is just getting started. Now, over to you, Mrs. Weedman.
Yes. All right. We've got some more political, state, and business news. America can't get enough fruit. Well, berry-flavored gummies, that is. They dominate the cannabis edibles market, accounting for nearly $186 million in sales over the past 90 days.
Jeez.
With flavors like strawberry, raspberry, and blueberry, it's clear that berry is the go-to choice for cannabis consumers.
They forgot one.
Peach.
Nope, that's not a berry. The snozberries taste like snozberries.
I said peach. Oh, boy. And then I was going to say pineapple. All right. Cannabis fine dining is a trending high-end experience that you need to look into. Chefs across legal states are infusing marijuana into multi-course tasting menus, private dinners, and curated culinary events designed to delight both the palate and the mind. This trend is gaining traction, offering safe spaces and elevating the cannabis experience into something communal and creative. Cannabis, it isn't just a plant. It is a gateway crop. A new survey by Homegrown Cannabis Company reveals that 66% of cannabis growers eventually start growing tomatoes. For many, cultivating cannabis sparks a passion for gardening, leading to homegrown tomatoes, basil, strawberries, and even giant pumpkins.
And peaches.
Yeah, and peaches. It's not just about the bud. It's about cultivating joy in your own backyard. Oklahoma. There are cannabis activists back at it there. The Oklahomans for Responsible Cannabis Action, or ORCA, has launched a signature drive to put legalization on the 2026 ballot with support. Wait, Oklahoma is legal.
It's medical.
Is it just medical?
Just medical.
I thought they were legal. With support from hundreds of medical cannabis dispensaries and other retailers, they're aiming to gather over 172,000 signatures. Despite new state restrictions on petitioning, the campaign is pushing forward, hoping to turn the tide on cannabis reform in that state. Florida, always something going on down there. Well, their cannabis scene just got a shakeup. Christopher Kimball, the state's top marijuana regulator for nearly 3 years, has stepped down to join Governor Ron DeSantis' office as Deputy General Counsel. Taking the reins is Bobby Smith, a seasoned veteran from the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. With over 17 years in legislative affairs, she is ready to steer the Office of Medical Marijuana Use into its next chapter. Things could get interesting in Florida. Massachusetts is considering a major cannabis policy shift.
This is ridiculous, everybody.
Under proposed 2026 ballot initiatives, the state would recriminalize recreational marijuana sales, eliminating the commercial adult use market while maintaining medical cannabis access. Adults could still possess up to an ounce, but cultivation and sales would be repealed. The initiatives, titled An Act to Restore a Sensible Marijuana Policy, are currently under review by the Attorney General.
Massachusetts, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Are you seriously?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Right. Michigan dispensary owner Jerry Millen is bringing the heat with his new reality show, Cannabis Rescue. Think bar rescue, but for struggling cannabis businesses. Teaming up with Hollywood pros Todd Nelson and Michael D. Ratner, Millen aims to revamp failing dispensaries and help them thrive. The show is already in talks with major streaming platforms, and it looks like the Green Rush could be getting a makeover.
I hope he doesn't act like that guy, though.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
it's just too much. After a while, like after a year, I couldn't even watch that show anymore.
He's just too intense.
It's not even just about being intense. It's just like, dude, relax a little bit, calm down. Sometimes you're just like, man.
Too intense.
Yeah.
A new study from Washington State University reveals that teens are drawn to cannabis edible packaging that's bright and trendy. Researchers found that teens aged 13 to 17 were attracted to vibrant designs, associating them with being natural and aspirational. This raises concerns about accidental exposure and calls for stricter packaging regulations to prevent youth attraction. The study aims to inform public health strategies to reduce such risks.
Can I just say something real quick about this? And I'll probably get chastised by all the cannabis edible companies or just cannabis companies in general about this. No one gives a fuck about your packaging. I'm just telling you right now, no one cares about packaging. They're going to go home and destroy those gummies. They're going to take it out. It doesn't draw attention. 67% of all buying is done online. And if you think packaging is what really draws somebody to, there's one reason why they're buying your gummies. They like the taste, they like the cost, and they're reliable. Mm-hmm. What the bag looks like, just make a purple bag, put your name on it, slap it out there, give it a good price, and it'll sell. I'm gonna get chastised about this. I just think it's just a waste of money. You don't need to have all this colorful stuff, flowers, fruits, whatever, because it is attracted to children. and we're trying to keep this out of kids' hands so it doesn't make us look bad.
There could just be like think about cigarettes. All cigarettes are packaged the same way, just a different logo, colors, right?
Yes.
Candy bars, packages of M&Ms and Skittles, like candy packaging is all very uniform.
Right.
You know, candy bar, like a package of
You
gum.
waste so much money on
like
packaging.
they could kind of universalize the way that things are packaged.
We're supposed to be
and then
better.
just the labeling
Right.
could be
We're
their
supposed
personal
in
stuff.
Canada, everything has to be straight color. You can't have any logos, fruit,
Right.
anything. It's just one color.
Yeah.
Well, you can have different color bags, but it's just we waste so much money on packaging. It's going to
Well,
get in
and
the landfill.
it's gonna kill our environment.
It's just terrible how much Mylar bags and plastic. None of it's getting recycled either.
All the glass.
Right. So stop worrying about your packaging and make a fucking good product instead. That's reliable, that gets people where they want to be at, that's cost effective. You won't have to you can give a better price, a better everyday regular price if you cut down all the bullshit. You just give the people what they want. Good weed. I'll argue about this all day long because we're failing the earth, period, first and foremost, by all this shitty ass packaging we're doing across this. Every industry needs to fucking change their ways quick. What you always said like this: a bag of Doritos when I was a kid, at least it was filled halfway. Now you get a fucking giant bag of Doritos this big and there's this much in it and it's all packaging that we don't need to. It's just mind-boggling how we think, and it's our fault too as consumers that we keep on letting this happen. Cannabis consumers, food, whatever. We're destroying Mother Earth with packaging. It's absolutely just ridiculous, and all of us should be fucking ashamed for what we do and how much we waste. And you could save so much money. It's just, I digress. I can go on for a very long time about this. So sorry, Mr. Weedman, I cut you off.
It's differentiating need from want.
Give me 5 on that one. Take it from Mrs. Weedman. She's one of the best shoppers I know. She's good at what she does when it comes to shopping. Clothes, food, cars. She taught me how to buy a car. Mrs. Weedman taught Mr. Weedman how to buy a car. You did. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mrs. Weedman's a smart shopper, smart consumer. You look at a lot of things when you shop. You do. You're amazing at it. And I appreciate you, one, saving us money and being a great wife. Thank you.
Thanks.
Props to Mrs. Weedman, everybody.
Back to the news. Nebraska, their hemp feed journey hit a milestone, but the road is still bumpy. The Association of American Feed Control Officials has officially recognized hemp seed meal as an approved ingredient for laying hen feed. However, state-level adoption remains sluggish. Go figure. Some states are delaying approvals until the publication is publicly available in print for a full year, citing bureaucratic hurdles. So, despite approval, regulatory delays still stall access. Washington, their cannabis market is facing a downturn. This is a big downturn. In the first quarter of 2025, sales totaled $277 million. But guess what? That is a significant drop from the $1.47 billion peak in 2021. In their first quarter, $1.47 billion.
Crazy.
And they're down to 277. What happened?
There's a lot of things that happened, right?
Experts attribute this decline to oversupply and price volatility, with some producers growing 2 to 3 times more cannabis than retailers can sell.
Waste.
Yes. Despite this, edibles, especially gummies, are showing resilience, with sales up 3.2% year over year.
They also have the highest tax in the whole entire country.
Washington?
Yes.
Really?
Over 40% tax. It's just a standard.
That's interesting because they don't have retail tax on.
They do on cannabis. 47. I think it's like almost 47%. Can't see so good.
No. Well, my glasses are in the way.
Almost 40. Don't burn your nose. Oh, like I said, it's a crazy high number. It's like I think it's over 40%. And I wouldn't buy. I'd grow my own.
Totally.
I'd find a friend that grows. Yeah, I'll take another of that. Thank you.
All right. Moving on here. Virgin Atlantic is not serving cannabis-infused sodas on its flights. Sorry, hang on. I took a huge hit. I didn't get a chance to get rid of it. Despite claims from Drippy, a cannabis beverage company. Drippy is they're tricky, drippy, these people. They did a promotional video with forged documents that suggested a partnership with the airline. Ballsy, ballsy, ballsy. However, Virgin Atlantic clarified that the story is entirely inaccurate. And they have no partnership with the brand. Drippy responded, stating that they had been purposely vague just for fun. Pretty clever. I heard that's the end of the news. I'm going to send it back to Mr. Weedman. But I did just hear someone talking about you need to be like an interrupter, like social media. Like that's what this younger generation wants. They want their emotions to be like jolted. They need to be like stirred a little bit to get engaged with what it is that you're delivering.
So what do you got to jolt them with? Some electricity?
I don't know. Well, like this, little big fat lie.
I got you.
Make shit up.
Little white
Just
lie.
be a little crazy.
Little crazy.
Throw a little AI out there. I
I'm
don't
not
know.
going to do anything crazy. Who's coming with me?
What's that from?
Jerry Maguire.
Yeah.
Also half baked when he was getting fired from the record store. I tried to do Jim Brewer's voice versus what was his name? What's his name? Jerry Maguire, longtime actor. You know what I'm talking about.
Tom Cruise.
Thank you.
Well,
yes.
Sorry.
Back to me with political state business
back
news.
to you.
New Jersey's cannabis workers might be getting a major labor boost. Assembly Bill 4182 recently passed aims to align cannabis industry labor rights with federal and state standards. The bill empowers the State Board of Meditation to enforce unfair labor practices and expands union organizing rights. If enacted, it would ensure cannabis workers have similar protections to public employees under New Jersey law. Pennsylvania News cannabis bill legalizes adult use marijuana but doesn't extend workplace protections for users. Employers can still enforce drug-free policies and fire employees for testing positive. The bill doesn't require accommodations or cannabis use or restrict employers from complying with acceptable federal laws. This means while you can legally light up at home, your boss still holds the keys to your 9 to 5. What a way to make a living. Man, 9 to 5 job. Whoever created that, crazy. Senator Rand Paul is actively negotiating with Senator Mitch McConnell and House lawmakers to find a middle ground on hemp THC regulations. Paul opposes a purpose that would ban hemp products containing any measurable amount of THC, arguing it could devastate the industry. He emphasizes the need for clear science-based standards to ensure consumer safety while allowing the hemp market to thrive. Good for you, Rand Paul. Illinois medical cannabis patients feel sidelined as the industry grows. A recent letter to the Chicago Sun-Times highlights the need for more inclusive policies. The state's cannabis market has explained, but some patients report challenges accessing products and services. Advocates urge lawmakers to prioritize patients' needs to ensure equitable access and support for all users. Okay, when we went recreational in 2020, every dispensary that had med had to have a med side and a rec side. Then COVID hit and that all ended. And the laws never went back to where it was. The state really could care less about med, to be honest with you, because there's no tax revenue in it. When you're going to make close to $500 million again in tax revenue, that's all they care about. Unfortunately, us medical patients like myself, the reason why I have my med card is so I can home grow and grow my own medicine. And I do like to go get gummies, and get my only 2% tax on my gummies. So it's kind of nice, and especially when all the sales too, so, and I know they do a lot of dispensaries here in Illinois do medical patient days. They give you the 30% off to cover the tax and all that stuff. But every dispensary in this state should be medical, not just the 52. Every dispensary should have a med rec license. You should have a med side and you should have a rec side. For lines. It doesn't have to be separated by a wall or anything like that, but you should direct med to med, and you should and med should be well taken care of. Bud tenders should be well trained and diverse for their medical needs, and you should have a patient registry. So when they come in, they can give you, this is why I want to start just a straight med. I'm giving people my ideas. I'm sorry, Mrs. Weedman, but ideas are free. So the med side of things, you should have a patient registry. Right? With working with a clinical physician in-house or your own physician that knows you use medical cannabis and help get you your card and what your ailment is and what strains, whether it be if you can't smoke flower or you can't use any kind of, you need only ingestibles or tinctures and stuff like that. But you should be able to find the strains that are good for your ailment, and they match you up to that, and it's all in your records there at that, so you don't have to go all over the place. This is what a good medical store should do for the medical patients. We need to take care of people like this because they need it as medicine, not for recreational use. And we're losing medical patients because they feel that they're getting left out, and they're just becoming rec patients, and they just go in and you don't know what you're getting.
I just don't think they really understand how to approach it as medicine unless someone guides them. So it's kind of crucial in a medical dispensary to have like extra knowledge.
Oh, I missed the old medical days here in Illinois.
Of cannabis.
When I got my medical card and we used to go to the Herbal Medical Center over on Western Ogden, there was couches. People would come and sit with you. They'd go through what you need, go through the list. They had little handhelds, and they would work with you, and they knew you by name when you came in. They learned your strains that you need for your ailment. It was an amazing experience versus today where you're just headed in and out. Online,
the bud tenders are knowledgeable and they try to help, but they don't have it's just not the same.
Right. It's not the same. They help you out. There's questions being asked, but when you have 67% of all buying is done online, it's just you get them into the line where they pick up their stuff and they leave.
And they're gone.
They're in and out in 5 minutes. It's just crazy, so my dream is to open up a small little medical dispensary, have my patients, clients, take great care of them, have a doctor on staff once a month to sign up patients and all this kind of fun stuff, and make it exciting again, and make medical exciting again and happy, right? So cannabis prices are dropping even as prices are for goods are going up. Dispensaries are seeing lower cost on flower and concentrates thanks to increased supply and market competition. Consumers are benefiting from better deals, but some producers are feeling the squeeze. It's a high-stake game of supply and demand, also profits and margins. Looks like the green rush just got a little greener. Texas District Attorney Sarah Stronger sparked controversy by live streaming herself smoking cannabis on TikTok to protest proposed THC ban. She purchased the marijuana legally in New Mexico and brought it back to Texas. Stronger faces potential federal charges for transporting marijuana across state lines, which could result in over 5 years in prison. Her bold move challenges the state's stance on cannabis legalization. Good for you. But you should have smoked it in New Mexico and did the video there. And that's in Texas. See what I could do in New Mexico, which I can't do in your state? Minnesota is pioneering a new approach to cannabis retail. 13 cities, including Elk Grove, Anoka, and Grand Rapids, are exploring municipality-owned dispensaries. No, becoming the second in the U.S. to consider government-run cannabis shops. First was Pennsylvania when they were trying to go recreational. Inspired by the state's successful municipal liquor stores. Okay. These cities aim to control sales, ensure compliance, and reinvest profits locally. Elk River's proposed Cannabound store could open as early as next year. No, we don't want state-run anything. An Alabama judge dismissed a lawsuit from parents seeking to force the state to establish a medical cannabis patient registry. Circuit Judge James Anderson ruled that plaintiffs lack legal standing, stating only that state attorney general could compel such actions. Alabama Medical Cannabis Commission maintains the registry exists, but remains inactive due to delaying its issuing necessary licenses. Normal's Facebook account was recently hacked, leading to a spam content being posted on their page. They've since regained control and are working to prevent future breaches. In the meantime, they advise supporters to be cautious of any suspicious links or messages from their account. Stay safe online, folks. It's a jungle out there in the digital world. The Trump administration is urging the Supreme Court to uphold the federal ban of marijuana users owning firearms. The Department of Justice argues that the prohibition aligns with historical precedents of disarming dangerous individuals. We're so dangerous. We're all so dangerous. That's what I want to do when I smoke weed. I want to go play with my gun and go shoot it
crazy.
Up. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. This move comes amid conflicting lower court rulings and ongoing debates over Second Amendment rights and cannabis use. The court is expected to review the case in September. A United Airlines flight from San Francisco to Cancun was delayed nearly 4 hours after a passenger smoked marijuana in the first-class lavatory. The pilot refused to fly, citing concerns over potential exposure to secondhand smoke and the risk of failing a drug test. Passengers were deplaned and given $15 meal vouchers while awaiting the new crew. The incident sparked online debate about passengers' behavior on airline policies. That's the news, Mrs. Weedman.
That was a lot of news.
There's always a lot of news.
There's
probably another 10 more articles that I'll have to wait till next week that I wanted. It's just a lot. I mean, you can just do a whole show just on the news because Gary Gnu knows the news.
News.
Good news.
With Gary Gnu.
With Gary Gnu. This glaring cannabis safety issue can't be ignored by Green State. Tell us about it, Ms. Weedman.
Yes, the consumer demand for cannabis inhalables like flower vapes or infused pre-rolls is growing. According to BDSA consumer data, 51% of cannabis consumers prefer inhalables. And as such, the importance of understanding how to create the safest, highest quality products is paramount. With this growing demand comes a unique opportunity for cannabis brands to lead with science-backed formulations and thoughtful product development. A key component of that work is toxicology, the scientific study of how substances interact with the human body. While it's often behind the scenes, toxicology plays a critical role in ensuring that inhalable cannabis products are both effective and safe for consumers. At its core, toxicology is the study of how different substances affect the body based on how they are used and how much exposure occurs over time. The principles are universal, regardless of the industry. In cannabis, toxicology is especially important for inhalable products because inhalation bypasses metabolic processes, exposing the consumer directly to the full dose of a compound. In contrast, ingestion allows the body to metabolize and often neutralize potentially harmful substances before they enter the bloodstream. This makes it especially important to assess how ingredients behave when inhaled or used consistently over long periods. While cannabis flower has been consumed for centuries, today's products involve far more variables, especially when they include added ingredients such as flavorants, carrier liquids, and other compounds that are used in vape formulations. By understanding how these ingredients interact with the body through inhalation, brands can formulate more responsibly and confidently. To support respiratory health and consumer safety, it's important to evaluate key toxicological considerations like respiratory effects. Some ingredients may cause mild irritation or sensitivity with repeated exposure. Identifying these effects early helps improve formulations and user experience. Chemical change with heat. When heated, some ingredients may transform into different compounds. Understanding these thermal changes allows brands to avoid ingredients that could form undesirable byproducts. That's scary. Cumulative exposure. Like, do they check on that? Really? I hope they do. Cumulative exposure. Long-term use of inhalable products means some users are exposed to certain ingredients daily. Toxicology helps determine acceptable thresholds for regular use. These factors are part of the evolving science that supports safer innovation. Just as other industries have matured with safety testing and standards, cannabis is now stepping into that next phase of responsible growth. After decades of cannabis prohibition have left regulators without the benefit of a deep, standardized body of research or the support of federal agencies that typically guide ingredient safety in products. As a result, the regulation of terpene blends and other exogenous additives have emerged in a fragmented and inconsistent way. While well-intentioned, these varied approaches often fail to effectively protect consumer health without placing undue restrictions on manufacturers. A more effective path forward would require all ingredient additives to meet standardized, science-based safety frameworks, striking a necessary balance between public health and the continued innovation and growth of the cannabis industry. Those frameworks haven't existed until now. To address gaps in safety data and regulation, a collaborative team of scientists from both industry and academia developed a science-based safety framework for inhalable cannabis products. Yay! I'm surprised that that's just happening now, though.
Yeah, right.
What about the past years of people just consuming stuff? What was in it? This foundational work informed the creation of 2 ASTM International safety standards, which now serve as critical tools to help manufacturers, regulators, and operators evaluate ingredient safety with scientific rigor. The ASTM Standard 1 refers to data collection and applicability. This standard walks users through existing scientific data on individual ingredients. Since cannabis consumers are often long-term users, data reflecting chronic exposure is key. And the ASTM Standard 2 is a toxicological risk assessment. Once applicable data is selected, this second standard guides toxicological calculations. This process includes estimating daily exposure, applying uncertainty or safety factors, and taking a conservative approach to risk mitigation. The resulting limit reflects a threshold under which the compound is expected to pose negligible risk, even with daily use over many years. By adopting these standards, cannabis brands can make informed decisions based on real data rather than assumptions or incomplete regulatory direction. This may take time and require investment, but the benefits are significant. Well, we shouldn't be given access to these products until these standards are in place. What do you think?
Standard a long time ago.
Like, that's kind of freaky. People are just inhaling away on like these vapes, and we have no like long term. We have no long term like idea what it's doing to bodies. We started reading about
the acetate and the pine they used to add and all that stuff back early on. You know, like 3 or 4 years ago, we were talking about all this stuff, and now like we were talking about all the bad stuff they were putting in these vapes, and now there's finally going to be some standards.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It is.
But 4 years ago, we were talking about this. 5 years ago. Nuts.
Yep. So brands that take proactive steps today are positioning themselves as leaders in product safety and consumer trust. While no system is perfect, science-driven frameworks like those from ASTM offer a practical path forward, balancing innovation, regulation, and consumer safety. As the cannabis industry grows, so does the complexity of the challenges surrounding products. Toxicology isn't about fear, it's about foresight. It's a tool that empowers brands to innovate with confidence, knowing their products are formulated with care, intention, and scientific backing. By embracing evidence-based standards, cannabis companies can continue to bring exciting new products to market while reinforcing their commitment to quality and safety. Through rigorous frameworks like the ASTM standards, cannabis brands can ensure that their products are responsibly formulated for long-term use. The industry has an opportunity to lead by example, creating products that honor the plant's benefits while respecting science behind safe consumption. Inhalable safety may be invisible to the eye, but it is important, and that importance is crystal clear. I think that like it's way overdue. And if brands decide that they don't think it's important to have this credential of being like, I would like you see organic packaging, natural packaging, vegan, there may be little trademarks that go on packaging that say that it's ASTM 1 or ASTM 1 and 2 standard approved.
Yeah.
And those are going to be the leaders because people want the assurity. They want clean stuff.
They want safe. No, they can smoke safe stuff. Yeah. It's just.
So I think it's like get on board with it as soon as you can.
We haven't used I think
we hit a vape like here and there.
So rare nowadays.
Yeah. And I always have a scratchy throat the next day if I hit a vape. I always have. I don't like it.
Once we learned about that, and we learned about the nickel leaching.
Yep.
We had said people should start moving over to the ceramic, so that it doesn't leach.
The ceramic coil.
The coil, yeah.
But you can hardly ever find them.
Very rare. But there are some companies that move that way. But it's so cheap buying the nickel coils. It's just, you can get them for like pennies and shit nowadays. It's just crazy. But yes, we need to. There's nothing bad. I'm not blasting vape at all. I have. So what I'm saying is, though, for us as consumers that use this product, we need safety. We need to make sure our products that we're using are safe and not killing us. And like I've always said, it's about profit and margins, not about us. It's all what it's about. That's every industry, though, not just the cannabis industry. I'm sorry. I would say about 80% of the people are about profit and margin. 20% of the people are about quality, care, love, and passion for the plant. That's just my opinion. Take it or leave it. International news. Cannabis Growth is taking its 7 Acres brand globally, launching in Australia with 2 high THC sativa strains, Ultra Jack and Jack Frost. These Canadian-grown favorites are now available in 10-gram flower formats for medical patients down under. The move complements Cannabis' existing Tweed and Spectrum Therapeutics offerings, expanding their medical cannabis portfolios in the Australian market. United States, baby. Just losing out. Panama's UN ambassador recently discussed the nation's cannabis history and policy in the United Nations. He highlighted Panama's long-standing cannabis cultivation and its evolving stance on legalization. The ambassador emphasized the importance of reevaluating international drug policies to align with contemporary perspectives on cannabis use and regulation. His remarks reflect Panama's nuanced approach to cannabis in the global arena. Mexico City has introduced new zonas de tolerancia cannabicia for public cannabis consumption, located in low-traffic areas like Plaza de Concepcion and Monumento. Simone Bolivar. These spaces allow adults to consume up to 28 grams of cannabis between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Strict rules prohibit sales, alcohol, and photography, aiming to balance public safety and personal freedom. I failed Spanish 1 and Spanish 2 all 4 years of high school, and I did pretty well on those, I think. And I'm telling the truth on that. I took Spanish 1 freshman year, took Spanish 1 again sophomore year. Finally passed it. Took Spanish 2 junior year, failed it. Didn't want to go to summer school. Took Spanish 2 senior year, failed it. My only F. And I didn't go to summer school. But I said those words pretty good.
Yeah.
I think I was being stubborn because the year I got into high school, they got rid of Italian. I was fucking irate. They're like, why don't you take German? I'm like, no. Why don't you take French? Okay. Why don't you take Spanish? It's the closest thing to Italian. I'm like, all right, sure, whatever. You're going to need it to get into college. I didn't need it to get into college. They didn't even look at it if I had taken Spanish. You know, they didn't even just like, I love the Spanish language. I just was being rebellious because I wanted to take Italian. Canada's cannabis insurance landscaping is evolving. Ontario's recent policy change, allowing storefront windows to be uncovered, has led to improved visibility and decrease in break-ins, potentially lowering insurance claims. Additionally, the rise in cannabis exports is prompting insurers to develop global coverage solutions, addressing the complexities of international logistics and compliance. These developments signal a maturing industry adapting to new challenges. A recent study by the Moroccan researchers has found that local Beldia cannabis cultivator demonstrates superior chemical stability compared to exotic varieties grown in northern Morocco. The study, conducted over 3 consecutive growing seasons, revealed that Beldia exhibited consistent chemical composition, while exotic cultivars showed considerable vulnerability. This stability is attributed to the homogeneity of seeds produced and selected by local farmers. And that's international news, everybody. Ms. Weedman going to close this out with some office culture and how cannabis use is reshaping it.
Yes.
Tell us about it. It's just like the days with my office. When I worked at the brewery, we would go out for a walk, like 4 or 5 of us, and smoke a joint and then go back to the office on our break.
Well, the 3 martini lunch is gone, but gummies in the workplace? Gen Z says yes. Cannabis is no longer just an after-hours indulgence. In states and countries where it's legal, it's becoming a subtle and sometimes strategic part of office culture. From creative agencies to tech startups, many professionals are finding that cannabis fits into the modern conversation about work, wellness, and productivity. The shift isn't loud, but it's happening, and it's changing how we think about the 9 to 5. Millennials and Gen Z, now a dominant force in the workplace, grew up with cannabis less stigmatized than previous generations. For many, it's no different from a glass of wine after work. Except it's easier on calories and hangovers. A 2024 survey by Gallup found that nearly 30% of adults aged 25 to 40 use cannabis regularly, and more than half support recreational legalization nationwide. This generational comfort is spilling into the office. In progressive companies, from tech startups to creative agencies, cannabis is showing up in after-hours networking events, corporate retreats, and casual workplace conversations. In states where weed is legal, some professionals are replacing the 3 p.m. coffee with low-dose edibles. CBD tinctures, or microdosing THC to manage stress, enhance focus, or boost creativity. This isn't about coming to work high. Most employees draw a hard line there, but rather about using cannabis for productivity, wellness, and stress relief outside traditional work hours. For the declining remote workers, the integration is even more seamless. Without the constraints of a physical office, cannabis can be part of a personal work routine, just like caffeine or supplements, without affecting professional output. For human resource teams, cannabis in the workplace presents a unique challenge. THC can remain in the body long after its effects wear off, making drug tests unreliable indicators of impairment. Many employers in legal states have dropped cannabis from pre-employment screenings, while others are now rewriting laws into their handbooks to reflect the marijuana laws of each state. Forward-thinking HR, I can't even read. Forward-thinking, all of a sudden it's like, woo, my brain's not talking to my mouth the right way. Forward-thinking HR leaders are taking a wellness-first approach, emphasizing education, clear communication, and personal responsibility rather than blanket bans. As cannabis legalization continues, expect more cannabis-friendly professional networking, CBD-infused wellness programs, and corporate events that normalize responsible use.
Every fucking trip I went on for the brewery I worked for.
Oh, yeah.
If there wasn't cannabis, you were in trouble.
This evolution isn't just about weed. It's about how changing norms shape where, how, and why we work. Work plus weed plus modern life equals a topic that's not only clickable, but deeply tied to the future of workplace culture. The conversation has moved beyond should cannabis be allowed to how will cannabis change the way we work? And that's a shift worth watching.
Love it. Fresh toast.
Yeah.
Love it. It's I mean, it was always that hidden thing, right? You want to go for a ride in the car for lunch?
Yeah, right.
Kind of thing,
Gotta run to the gas station.
Yeah.
I gotta go get
right.
I gotta
go. I'm gonna take my break, but I'm gonna take it in my car.
Yeah,
and that's where your pipe was.
Oh shoot! I dropped the joint in the ashtray.
No! Don't drop the joint.
Back.
Don't drop the joint. You gonna light that up?
I mean, yeah, I'm trying.
Before we end the show, one last toke. Any last final stoner thoughts, Mrs. Weedman, before we go? After you light that joint up?
I think I'll burn my nose if I try to light it in my mouth. Well, everybody, have a great week. I don't have much to say. My brain's
not working so well.
Well, it's working well, but
you're just feeling good. Yeah, you're stoned. Big Earl, thanks for throwing to the cause with some of that green crack. Really nice. Got a couple nugs of that. We got a bunch of strains of smoke from him coming up too. So, Big Earl, thanks for throwing to the cause.
Good stuff.
Yeah, good stuff. Get crack-a-lacking with that green crack. Everybody out there, go live some fucking life, will you? Go have some fun. Fuck the 9 to 5. Do it because you got to do it. Make that money and have some fun. Take some time for yourself. Go enjoy life. Be who you want to be. And go live. As Paulie always says, smoke smart. Puff, puffing away.
Puff, puff, pass.
Check out our cannabis lifestyle brand online at 8decades.com. Our custom smokes and accessories are perfect for your coffee table, bedroom nightstand, or kitchen counter. They're designed for you to show them off. The Canna community is also loving our hemp and cotton blend t-shirts, sweatshirts, scarves, and hats, finished off with our 8 Decades logo. We've got some awesome long-lasting goods that will be your favorite for years to come. 8 Decades, because a 9th decade of cannabis prohibition isn't acceptable.